Okay, guys, I wanted to do a quick video on disposition strategy if you want to sell your lots direct to end users, build a buyer's list. I don't do this anymore, but it's just a matter of what's your priority and the opportunity cost on your time. I operate mostly in really high demand markets where it's competitive to buy, but generally easier to sell. And so for me, I haven't, or I stopped doing this side of the business because it just wasn't as much of a lever. But if you're new, maybe you can't close, maybe you want to build a different model. These are the ways that I have successfully found end users to buy lots from me or assign lots directly to. And I did this for years. So it's really just in the last 2 years that I've stopped doing this. And I've been doing this since 2019. So all that to say, I want to talk quickly about how you approach these people before getting into the tactical methodology. So you don't want to be another clueless wholesaler that these people immediately write off, or they try and take advantage of and beat up on price because they know you're desperate, they know you can't close, and they know that if you don't sell to them, you're screwed, right? You don't want to be that person. And in these busy markets like a Lehigh Acres, Florida, they are really, really used to clueless wholesalers. So right off the bat, when I first left Colorado, I had my primary market kind of shut down as far as new builds. Lehigh Acres was the first place I marketed to, and it's been a very profitable market. And uh, the way I approached it when we were looking for buyers, because we still were at that time, was, hey, Juan, I'm calling Juan. Uh, I had to move markets for my investing and development because my market ran out of water taps. Got a few lots looking to potentially build on, or I might just keep or flip these ones. I see you just sold a brand new construction home. Is your builder looking for more lots? And leave it at that and see what they say. So in that, I told him, hey, I'm a real player. I've done new construction. I have lots coming for sale or maybe under contract. I didn't really specify, but I don't sound like I have no money and no idea what I'm doing. Now, maybe you do have no money and you have no idea what you're doing. That's fine. That's the reality of starting. That was me 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So don't feel bad about that, but think of a way to approach it where you can still make yourself sound a bit more experienced. Maybe something along the lines of, hey, Juan, just saw you sold 1201 Flora Ave North, new construction. Do you work with a lot of builders? I have a few lots under contract. I was planning to just sit on them for a while and resell since Lehigh is growing so much, but honestly, I might just flip them as they are now. Is your builder looking for more lots? A little calmer. I don't sound desperate. I make it sound like I can close on them, right? You want to be cautious and just make sure you don't sound desperate. So think through that, come up with a talk track that works for you, but don't sound like you're clueless and desperate to sell. Now, what did I do? I went to sold. Houses are multifamily because on Zillow, multifamily is going to be duplexes the vast majority of the time. 2024 or newer, last 12 months. Now it's the end of 2024. If it were February 2025 or January 2025, I would keep this 2024 or newer for a while. This gives you all kinds of solds of new construction. And in some markets, it's more common for builders to put their company name in the listing. In Lehigh Acres, that's not as common. I don't see that a whole lot. You'll just see the realtor's name, but you can still call the realtor and go through some sort of talk track like I just described. Realtors in these sorts of busy markets tend to be very familiar with assignments, but start the way that I described. Get an idea what the realtor's like. Do they want to work with the wholesalers? Do they normally sell new construction and know a bunch of builders? That's how you approach it. And also go into it with the mindset, the expectation that some of these people aren't going to want to work with me no matter what. So expect to call, 5 to 10 people. Don't think, oh, I'm going to call one person and if it doesn't go well, it doesn't work. No, you got to talk to a lot of people. All right. So I would do both sold and then for sale, new homes for sale. This market, there's a huge abundance of builders. It's very easy to find buyers, but not all markets are this way. Okay. And one quick caveat too, if you're trying to sell rural recreational acreage, you're probably not going to be able to do this strategy. There's probably not builders. So if there aren't builders and it's only end users, this strategy does not work. But in these markets like this, where there are end users, or excuse me, builders everywhere, just scroll through these listings, call the realtor, and if they list the builder, call the builder, call everyone involved in the new construction process, and you will find buyers. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, Propstream. So here's Lehigh Acres again. Land, so under property details, vacant land, not listed on the market, one or less years owned. So properties bought in the last year, local owners, three or more properties owned. If they own three properties, they bought one in the last year, and they live there, and of course, these are all lots. I'm not talking other properties, other types of properties. They're very likely a land buyer. Now, there's certainly tons of duplicates on here, so you have to download and deduplicate the list, but then you skip trace the list, you call it, and you will absolutely find buyers. Talk track for that, really straightforward. Hey, Mr. Whatever their name is, I see you just bought a lot in Lehigh. I have several that I'm gonna sell here. Also looking for builder contacts for development in the future. Are you a builder or just an investor? That simple talk track has gotten us a lot of buyers back when we were doing this. So that's number two. Yes, there will likely be some overlap between this and this strategy. That's fine. You can deduplicate the lists, or you don't even have a list for this. It just is what it is, right? Especially when you're new and you're just trying to get a deal done. Don't worry about doing too much. Don't worry about accidentally calling people twice. Just call and talk to as many people as possible. And then two more simple strategies. Always post on Facebook and Craigslist. I sold dozens and dozens of lots that way when I was new. And then finally, even today, though we don't do this directly, I can't tell you how often we'll list something on the market and the neighbor buys it. So send neighbor letters. You know, if I bought this parcel, I'd mail this person, this person, this person for sure. Anyone whose lot's touching yours, mail them, and oftentimes you'll find buyers that way. So those are the four disposition strategies that consistently got us buyers back when we were doing dispo ourselves. It's a great way to do assignments or double closes and not need any or as much of your own cash. So I hope that's helpful, guys.